Welcome, grade 12. We're going to look at circles today. It's part of analytical geometry, where we have to determine whether circles are touching each other or not touching each other, or whether they are intersecting. Now, very often in the exam, you don't have time to sit and wonder about this. So you need to understand the three different scenarios, and I suggest you take down notes. I like to compare this with human beings standing there and with their arms stretched out. What if this is a human being with an arm and the distance of the arm is 6 units? Then on this side, I sit with another human being and this person is stretching out his or her arm and it's a distance of 4 units. But the midpoint between this guy and the midpoint of that guy, so we say the distance from A to B, in my example, is 12 units. And because the length of the two arms that we add up is only 10 units, 6 plus 4 is 10, it means they won't be able to touch each other. So in a mathematical manner, we say the distance from A to B, the distance is greater or bigger than the radius of the first one plus the radius of the second one, and therefore the circles won't touch each other. So this then would be the distance from A to B, which is 12 units. And this radius 1 plus radius 2 will only be 10. On my website, you will find the summaries that you can actually print out. But I decided to make a recording to explain to you how the summaries work. The second type of scenario will be when the circles touch each other. So again, let's look at some human people. This guy has an arm length of 4 units. So he's stretching out his arm, hoping to touch someone else or help someone that wants to fall off a bridge or something. So this person has an arm length of 2 units. So there are the two hands. And let's measure the distance from the midpoint of this guy's body to the midpoint of that guy's body. And it's 6 units. So thank goodness they're going to touch each other so this guy can help the other one. So what will we look at? We say AB, the distance from A to B, will be equal to the radius of the first circle plus the radius of the other circle. So just look at this example. So AB, which is 6 units, will be equal to this radius, which is 4. So that distance plus this distance is also equal to 6. So the two circles will touch each other. The last type of scenario, there's only 3 of them, will be when the two circles are actually going to intersect each other. So let's look at this with the two human beings. So this is what I like to compare with two people hugging each other, you know, with their arms all over and around each other. So this midpoint, or let's first look at the length of the arms. This guy has an arm length of 5 units. So I did show it there with my radius is 5 units. And the other person, person B, has an arm length of 2 units. So that means it's all in all going to be 7 units, the two arms, if we add them together. And let's measure what is the distance. It's definitely not a COVID distance, is it? The distance between the midpoint of A and the midpoint of B is only 4 units. So they are very close to each other. As I said, they're hugging each other. So let's look at it in an algebraic manner. AB, the distance formula, that's how you will prove it in the exam. You work with the distance formula. From A to B, for example, you will get 4 units. And because this distance is smaller than the radius 1 plus the radius 2, the two circles therefore will intersect. So please keep these summaries next to you when you actually have to do proving circles that are touching or not touching, or they will say, show that they do not intersect. Then this is what you will have to do. Thanks for listening.